All right, it's Caner Tip Tuesday, and today we're looking at part 2 of how to create your cane safe space. But this time we're going to take a look at the translation of that cane. How does it work with the empty hand? That's always built into the ACSD curriculum. Before we do that, a warm welcome to caners worldwide. Thank you for being on here and for all your kind comments and your requests. We do go over that and reread them. 2 things you want to do before we forget. If you like the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so that you don't miss any future content, and avail yourself of the no-cost Cane Clarity Call, where in less than 24 hours you text text CCC for Cane Clarity Call to 305-745-7839. In less than 24 hours, we'll be on a call and we'll map out an actual game plan for you at no cost on how to get started with cane training, or you've been training for a while but you really don't see that functional, tangible result. Training is the real equalizer. Canes are fun, but training is the equalizer, and it's a situation that's not going to fix itself unless you do something about it, and that's why we exist here. So let's take a look. Last week we spoke about how to create that. It's not enough to just have the cane. We can take advantage. We spoke about the 3 different ranges of how we the cane. You can either be, he's throwing a punch and be real up close in here and get out of that mess, or knock it down. You can even come to the outside and go ahead and do that. And so today, based on what we shared on part 1, I'll go ahead and show you what that might look like empty hand. So straight off the bat, or straight off the cane I should say, impact tool, not necessarily an impact tool. If you are not trained and those fists are not conditioned, bones break upon impact. And so now, if I'm in this mid-range, and we said this is the worst range to be in, because if those mechanics are not correct, even with that cane, I go to knock this down, he can still get through. We spoke about proper alignment. It changes just slightly here. I'm going to be going back and forth, cane and empty hand, to show you that. But the walkthrough is the first thing. Just like I don't trust myself to keep my cane here in standard or even a reverse grip. Once something is brewing, the cane is going to come up here. I don't trust myself to be quick enough to have that cane be there on time. So my hands are going to be somewhere around here. Either here, they're here. I'm talking with my hands. I'm trying to water things down. But if you look at my posture, there's nothing about this that says I want to fight or I'm even ready to fight. I'm clear on my distancing here, and I'm going to go straight to that mid-range. So with the cane, you were knocking down the strike this way. We don't have anything on ACSD that goes bone on bone. We don't have that. You're going to turn that just slightly in this case if there's no tool in his hand. We do like to use the meaty portion of the forearm in these cases. And the way that we do that in this one, we're just going to settle in, and my center is going to be right over, so that when he comes and throw a little bit more vigor, I'm going to go in there and stop that at this range. And you see where I'm at, which allows me to come right back in. See how the hands come up at the same time. I can go ahead, if you recall with the cane, you're hitting here, you're hitting here. Here, I'm gonna come in and check. This hand is gonna come in to check. This one can go right to the eyes and rake. So this application that was here, and then you're coming in here, this is very familiar to ACSD students. We're getting to the inside of that. Well, you see it here. I can already step to the inside, but I'm in a place where even if he goes to strike with the other, this is just constantly. I've just taken his center. The things to look at is be careful with doing this, because we see it a lot at the headquarters. And once I'm doing, he can still loop around. I don't want to be out here where my behind is sticking out like I'm going to sit. I'm really holding in. When you do this and you tilt back, the computer comes forward, and that's the last thing I want to have to deal with. So I'm still going to be very stand so that I can move now into the inside. That's the first concept. The second one is doing it through your footwork. and moving out of there. So that if he does come in now and I say, hey, I don't want, I'm going to move to the inside. You see that when I do this, this would be a safe place. If he goes to throw a punch here, I'm already here to the inside. He goes to move again, I'm dropping, right? And it continues because I've taken, again, that center. So here I am, I'm gonna slip right through, just putting my hands up from here. And as always, if I can get away from this, right, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. If I can just, with this movement, get out of the way, then that's what I'm looking to do here. One word of caution here, and I'll give you this as a bonus tip as well. And there's two things that we want to look at. One of them is, if you recall what I did with the cane last time, depending on how you hold that cane, you can lure in or not as to where you want the attack. I have my hands up here, and if I do this with that hand, it looks like he has an open shot in there, but look at where the other hand is. So that's not the case when I'm moving from here, right? If I have my hands up here, then he probably doesn't want to loop over, I'm assuming, right? You have so many different variations when I'm talking from here, right, to come in here, right? But if I'm over here, he might want to, just as well. Right, so careful with that. Right, you okay? Yeah. Right, rake and be able to move from there. So I can influence that attack, by doing that. One thing that I do a caution about with your positioning is, again, with the empty hand, you don't have the leverage that you have with the cane in the sense that it crushes bone. So here, I'm not trying to hit bone, I'm hitting to the inside where the radial nerve is. That's the kind of thing. Here I am looking to gouge, to rake, going to the eyes, vital areas that are going to give me the biggest bang for the buck. Again, I don't have something that looks like that. More now to the inside, right? The double strike, everything happening as much as possible right in here. So again, that starts opening, that gives you some insights into the relationship between the cane and the empty hand, and it all begins, it's training is the bottom line. You're always going to be limited to what you can do in an altercation, especially under the duress of the moment with the adrenaline pumping, based on what your training allows you to do. So to that end, that's why we want to have that conversation first. It all begins there. It doesn't cost you a penny to do it. We just want to learn what's important to you and learn how to see and explore if we and how we can serve you best. And that's by texting the letters CCC to 305-745-7839. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense. Thanks for watching. Keep caning. Stay safe.